Hi everyone, it's me Saroj. Today my presentation will be on the topic of primary open angle glaucoma. Before starting my presentation, we must all know the definition of glaucoma. What is glaucoma? Glaucoma is an optic neuropathy that damages the optic nerve with loss of visual field. Yes, glaucoma is not a single disease, it is a group of eye diseases which is due to the increase in the intraocular pressure that damage the optic nerve with loss of visual field. And this is normal vision of the eye, and this is a glaucoma vision of the eye, glaucomatous eye. Primary open angle glaucoma. Primary means no obvious ocular or systemic disease. It is not due to any ocular disease or systemic disease like diabetes or leprosy, but it is due to primary pathway of aqueous outflow obstruction. Chronic simple glaucoma of adult onset. It is a chronic, it is not acute, it is a chronic. Its effect seen on long time. Characterized by iridocorneal angle appears normal. The angle of iris and cornea are seen as normal. Slowly progressive rise IOP greater than 21 mm of ESG. In primary open angle glaucoma, intraocular pressures slowly progress, rise, get greater than 21 mm of ESG. And glaucoma patient must have optic disc cupping and visual field defect. If the patient have glaucoma, there must have optic disc cupping and visual field defect. If the patient have no optic disc cupping and visual field defect, at that condition we can't say the patient have glaucoma, but the intraocular pressure will be normal and there is optic disc cupping and visual field defect, then at that condition we can say that patient have normal tension glaucoma. And etiopathogenesis of primary open angle glaucoma. Etiopathogenesis of primary open angle glaucoma is not exactly known, but some of the facts are as given below. First one is intraocular pressure. It is the most important risk factor for development of primary open angle glaucoma. Intraocular pressure IOP play a major role in the primary open angle glaucoma. Family history, that is heredity. Family history is also the one risk factor for the primary open angle glaucoma, because if the patient have primary open angle glaucoma, their effect will be shown on their children due to their gene. Age is risk in the increase in age between 5th and 7th decade, that is 50 years, between 50 years and 70 years. And race, primary open angle glaucoma is more seen in black people as compared with white people. Black people must have more primary open angle glaucoma as compared as white people. Central corneal thickness. If central corneal thickness is thinner, then intraocular pressure is not underestimation by applanation tonometer, which is risk for primary open angle glaucoma. If the central corneal thickness is thinner, then intraocular pressure is high. At that condition, applanation tonometer is not useful for their condition for estimation of the primary open angle glaucoma. And myopes, that is patient those have myopic eye have a risk for primary open angle glaucoma. And diabetics patient have more prevalence, more risks for primary open angle glaucoma than non-diabetic patient. And smoking is also the one risk factor for the primary open angle glaucoma, and high blood pressure. High blood pressure is also one of the risk factor for the primary open angle glaucoma, and thyrotoxicosis. It is due to the excess thyroid hormone in the body that also cause the primary open angle glaucoma. It is also one risk factor. Pathogenesis of rise in intraocular pressure. Rise in IOP, intraocular pressure, occurs due to decrease in the aqueous outflow. If the aqueous humor is secreted normally from the ciliary body by the ciliary process, and there is a decrease in the aqueous outflow, at that condition the intraocular pressure will be high and on the eye. Reduced aqueous outflow facility occurs due to failure of aqueous outflow pump mechanism. Yes, and thickening and sclerosis means hardness of trabecular meshwork with fackled collagen fiber. At that condition also intraocular pressure is high. And narrowing of intertrabecular space. If the space of intertrabecular space will be narrowing, decreasing, and that condition also the intraocular pressure will be high on the eye. Deposition of amorphous material in the juxtacanalicular space. Yes, collapse of Escherichia canals and absence of giant vacuole in the cells lining it. And this giant vacuole is the absorption of aqueous humor and drainage, and it helps to drainage. And that condition also the intraocular pressure is high. Epidemiology of primary open angle glaucoma. Primary open angle glaucoma affect about 1 in hundreds of the general population above the age of 40 years. Among the 100 general population above the age of 40 years, there must have the one primary open angle glaucoma. It forms about 1/3 case of all glaucoma. Prevalence of primary open angle glaucoma versus primary angle closure glaucoma varies different population as below. Ethnic groups: primary open angle glaucoma versus primary angle closure glaucoma. Europeans and Africans. Primary open angle glaucoma is 5:1. 1 is primary angle closure glaucoma. In Mongolian, primary open angle glaucoma is 1:3, and 3 is the primary angle closure glaucoma. Arabian Chinese have 1 primary open angle glaucoma and 2 is primary angle closure glaucoma. And Indian people have 50 and 50 chance. Primary open angle glaucoma is 1 and primary angle closure glaucoma is 1. This is a 50-50 chance of glaucoma. Symptoms of primary open angle glaucoma. It is asymptomatic. Significant loss of visual field. Significant loss of visual field. After middle age, periodic eye examination is very necessary. Head and eye ache of mild intensity. If the people have primary open angle glaucoma, their visual field is decreasing, and that condition head and ache is mild intensity pain. Difficult in reading and close work. If the patient have primary open angle glaucoma, they have the difficult in the reading and work in the close work, experienced by most of the patients, and complain of frequently change in presbyopic glass. Yes, if the patient have primary open angle glaucoma, their complaint is their presbyopic glass will be frequently changing. Scotoma. scotoma, defect in visual field. There is partial alteration of visual field. Delay dark adaptation, optic nerve atrophy. Due to optic nerve atrophy, there delay on dark adaptation, significant loss of vision, that is blindness. Sign of primary open angle glaucoma. The first one is anterior segment sign, cornea hazy. The last layer of cornea is endothelium, and there is maximum active pump is present, but if there is high intraocular pressure on it, then it will lose the transparency of cornea. As a result, cornea become hazy. Anterior chamber is deeper, sluggish pupil due to pressure on zonules, ciliary body and iris. Pupil becomes sluggish. Low CCT is significant risk of primary open angle glaucoma. Central corneal thickness is significant risk of primary open angle glaucoma. And second one is intraocular pressure changes. Repeated observation of intraocular pressure every 3 to 4 hours for 24 hour. Diurnal variation test. Morning rise in intraocular pressure is 20% of cases, and afternoon rise in intraocular pressure is 25% of cases, and biphasic rise in intraocular pressure is 55% of cases. This will be variation in intraocular pressure of over 5 mm of ERG by Seo's tonometer is suspicious, and over 8 mm of ERG is diagnostic of glaucoma. Look this picture. At 20% of cases in morning, the rise of intraocular pressure is at 6 am is 20, and at 6 pm 10, and at again 6 am the intraocular pressure is 20. At 25% of case at afternoon, the rise of intraocular pressure is 40 at 6 am, 20 at 6 pm, and again 40 at 6 am. And biphasic of intraocular pressure 6 am is 40, and 12 noon is 20, and 3 pm at again 40, and 12 midnight at 20, and again 6 am at 40 mm of ERG. It is a biphasic rise in intraocular pressure. It is a 55% of case. And posterior segment sign. The fundus and particularly cup and disc finding are the most important sign for diagnosis. Yes, fundus and particularly cup disc ratio that helps to finding in the glaucoma of the patient. First one is cup. The cup is typically deep and excavated with undermined its. Yes, if the patient have primary open angle glaucoma, the cup will be typically deep and excavated with undermined edge of the cup. Cup disc ratio usually of 0 to 3, 0 to 4 has low suspicion, less than 5% risk for primary open angle glaucoma. But if cup disc ratio more than 0.6, then it will have 65% risk for primary open angle glaucoma. If 0.9% cupping, then they must have the 100% chance of primary open angle glaucoma. Second one is asymmetry of cup between two eyes is more diagnostic and helpful in borderline cases. A difference of more than 0.2 is seen is less than 1% normal. Between two eyes, if the borderline of one eye is increased than other, this is if the cup is asymmetry, then it will be the helpful for the diagnosis for the glaucoma. Vertical elongation of cup is more diagnostic. Yes, if the cup will be vertically elongation, it will be more diagnostic for the primary open angle glaucoma. Horizontal elongation and vertical elongation. If vertical elongation is more, then it will be diagnostic than horizontal. Neuroretinal rim. The neuroretinal rim is thinner in primary open angle glaucoma. Neuroretinal rim is less than 0.2 is definitely suspicious. Yes, in primary open angle glaucoma, the cup is increasing. At that condition, the neuroretinal rim is thinning, and it will be the 0 to 0.2%, 0.2 in thickening. A localized pallor and localized notching is very diagnostic. Yes, in primary open angle glaucoma, the disc pallor and notching sign will be very diagnostic for primary open angle glaucoma. The pallor of disc. A notch is usually seen at the lower or upper poles and correlated with acute field defect. Look, this is a cup, optic cup, and this is a neuroretinal rim, and this is a blood vessels of the optic disc. In primary open angle glaucoma, this cup will be elongation. If elongation on vertical, this is a more diagnostic for the primary open angle glaucoma. This optic cup will be elongation like this, increasing. If increase towards the neuroretinal rim, this is 100% of primary open angle glaucoma. Disc vessels. The disc vessels are displaced nasally. Disc vessels is displaced nasally due to increase in the optic cup. It will be show bioneting sign. They may show bioneting of vessels. Yes, if this optic cup increase, then this vessels, optic disc vessels displace nasally, and it will show bioneting sign. And another sign is overpass sign, wherein a defect of cup is seen under the vessels. Pulsation of arterioles is seen at disc margin as a diagnostic sign of rise in intraocular pressure. Laminar dots. The lamina curvosa is deep and short dots due to atrophy of axonal and glial tissue. This lamina curvosa is sieve-like structures. Look, here is a dot. This dot-like structure, sieve-like structure, is a lamina curvosa. If lamina curvosa is deep and short dots, this dot will be not improper, so it will be the atrophy of the axonal and glial tissue. Hemorrhage. splinter hemorrhage on the disc margin and peripapillary area. Yes, this is a neuroretinal rim optic disc, and this is a splinter hemorrhage. This is a splinter hemorrhage on disc margin and peripapillary area. Glucomatous optic atrophy. All the neural tissue of the disc is destroyed. Neural tissue of the disc is destroyed, and the optic nerve head appears white and deep excavated. This optic nerve head will be appears as white. Atrophy of the optic nerve head. Look, this is a distribution of retinal nerve fiber. This is a papillomacular bundle. Papillomacular bundle is more resistant in retinal nerve fiber because the length of the nerve fiber is less, so it is a more resistance. And this is a superior arcuate fiber and inferior arcuate fiber. This is more length. This is the nerve fiber. This nerve fiber has more length, so more chance of damage. This is a this superior arcuate fiber and inferior arcuate fiber are on temporal side, and this superior radiating fiber and inferior radiating fiber are on nasal side. This is our nasal side. Arrangement of nerve fiber within the optic nerve. Arcuate fibers occupy temporal portions of the disc and are the most susceptible to the damage. And look, arrangement of nerve fiber within optic nerve head. Due to the this is a fibers and this is a cup of optic disc. Nomenclature of glaucomatous field defect. Before discussion on visual field defect, I will clear you by showing figure. Look, this is a visual field defect of the eye. This is a fixation point. This is a fixation point, and this circle, and this circle are the isopter construction. And 0 degree, 10 degree, 20 degree and 30 degree, this increasing by 10 degree up to 0 to 30 degree. This is a central field visual field, and above 30 is peripheral visual field. These are the isopter construction. These are the isopter construction, and this is a blind spot. Paracentral scotoma and Seidl's scotoma is a combination of paracentral scotoma and blind spot. And this is a arcuate scotoma, also called Beijerium scotoma. This is 10 to 20 degree arcuate, 10 to 20 degree arcuate area. This is a double arcuate fiber, double arcuate scotoma, and this is a Roman's nasal step. Only temporal islands of vision effect at last. This is a all visions goes, only central is left, called tunnel or tubular vision. Isopter construction. It is the earliest visual field occurring in glaucoma. Yes, it is isopter construction is earliest visual field occur on glaucoma, and this is a constriction of central as well as peripheral field. And blind is bearing a blind spot. Bearing a blind spot means exclusion of the blind spot from the central field due to inward curve of the outer boundary of 30 degrees central field. Yes, bearing of blind spot is a constriction of the isopter constriction. A small wings shaped paracentral scotoma. It is a clinical significant visual field. And Seidl's scotoma is a paracentral scotoma joint blind spot to form sickle shaped scotoma. It is a combination of paracentral scotoma and blind spot. Arcuate or Bezoar scotoma. It is 10 to 20 degree area. Ring or double arcuate scotoma. It develops when the two arcuate scotoma join together. Romance central nasal step. And peripheral field defect. This appears sometimes at an early stage or sometimes only late in the disease. Yes, this is a arcuate scotoma and in inferior, and this is a arcuate scotoma inferior, and this is a posterior, inferior and posterior, superior and inferior. This is a double arcuate scotoma. And diagnosis of the primary open angle glaucoma. If increase in intraocular pressures, it is estimated by tonometer. Optic nerve head changes. This is diagnosis by ophthalmoscope. And visual field defect will be diagnosis by perimetry. And angle of anterior chamber is diagnosis by gonioscopy. And investigation. What are the investigation of the primary open angle glaucoma? First one is tonometry. Second one is central corneal thickness. Central corneal thickness is also the investigation of the primary open angle glaucoma. Diurnal variation test of the intraocular pressure. This is investigation of the primary open angle glaucoma. And gonioscopy and documentation of the optic disc changes are the investigation of the primary open angle glaucoma. Slit lamp examination of anterior chamber. Perimetry to detect the visual field. Nerve fiber layer analyzer and water drinking test. These all are the investigation for the primary open angle glaucoma. And what are the management, what are the treatment are the primary open angle glaucoma? Therapeutic choice. First one is medical therapy. Second one is argon or diode laser trabeculoplasty. And third one is filtration surgery. First one is medical prostaglandin analog. What are the prostaglandin analog of the drug? Drugs latanoprost, that is 0.005%, and daily dose is once or daily. What are the mode of actions of latanoprost? Enhance uvascular outflow, and side effects are the hyperemia, iris pigmentation. Second one is travoprost. Percentage is 0.004%, and once a daily use. Also enhance uvascular outflow, and side effect of the travoprost is conjunctival hyperemia. And third one is bimatoprost. Percentage is 0.03%. Once a daily dose. Enhance both trabecular and uvascular outflow, and side effects are fever, headache, iris hyperpigmentation. And second one is sympatholytic drug, non-selective beta blocker. What are the drugs? First one is timolol maleate, 0.25 or 0.5%. Daily dose is twice a daily. Mode of action, reduce aqueous secretion. It will reduce aqueous secretion. And side effect is bronchoasthma, bradycardia or low blood pressure. Second one is levobunolol. Once a daily, reduce aqueous secretion, and the side effect is same as tremolol. B. Selective beta blocker, betazolol, 0.5%. It is used by dose twice a daily, reduce aqueous secretion, and side effect is asthma, pulmonary problem. Sympathomytic. What are the drugs? Epinephrine, 1%. Dipivefrin, 0.1%, twice a daily. Mode of action is increase aqueous outflow by their beta agonist action, reduce aqueous formation due to vasoconstriction, and side effects is irritation, conjunctival congestion, cystoid macular edema. And second one is brimonidine, twice a daily, increase aqueous outflow and decrease aqueous secretion. Side effect is foreign body sensation, allergy, and hypermia. Third one is apraclonidine, 0.5%, 2 to 3 times daily, increase aqueous outflow and decrease aqueous secretion, and side effect is allergy, foreign body sensation. Fourth one is prostaglandin and postamide analog. What are the drugs? Drugs are latanoprost, Zalatan, 0.005%. Daily dose is once a daily. Mode of action is enhance uvascular outflow. Side effect is hypermia and iris pigmentation allergy. Travoprost, Travatan, 0.004%. Mode of and dose is once daily. Enhance uvascular outflow, conjunctival hypermia. Bimatoprost, 0.03%, once a daily dose. Enhance both trabecular and uvascular outflow, and side effect is conjunctival hyperemia, headache, less iris pigmentation. And fifth, carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. Daily dose, mode of action and side effect: dorzolamide, 2% topical, 2 to 3 times daily, decrease aqueous production, and side effect is allergy, superficial punctate keratitis, and dryness of the eye. Second one is brinzolamide, 1%, and daily dose is 2 to 3 times daily, and mode of action is decrease aqueous production. Side effect is allergy, superficial punctate keratitis, and dryness. Drugs, myotics, that is pilocarpine. Daily dose is 3 to 4 times daily. Mode of action: ciliary muscles constrictions, meiosis, open space in trabecular meshwork. Side effects: induced myopia, retinal detachment, and cataract. Laser trabeculoplasty indication: when IOP is uncontrolled despite maximal tolerated medical therapy. Surgical therapy indication: uncontrolled glaucoma despite maximal medical therapy and laser trabeculoplasty surgery is done. Failure of medical and unstable for argon-learned diode trabeculoplasty. Thank you guys for watching my video and also giving me some important time for me. And also, if you are new in my channel Optometrist Nepal, please like and subscribe my channel Optometrist Nepal, and also press on bell icon to get a new video from my channel Optometrist Nepal. Thank you all. Thank you.